Your emotions play an important part in your manifestation journey. I want to talk with you about emotional mastery. And with emotional mastery, I don't mean that you are in control of your emotions, that you are only feeling good feelings, that you are suppressing what is there. I also don't mean that you go into it every time it's coming up. What I mean is using your emotions for your manifestations from a space of wholeness, from a space of fullness. Because two common things are often happening. Number one, we are suppressing our emotions. We think that we only, in order to manifest what it is that we are desiring to experience, we can only feel so-called positive emotions. We have to be in a blissful state. We have to be grateful. We have to be in love. We have to be in there all the time. Anything else is not permitted. But this already by itself creates separation, creates lack. And this is not a state from which you are open to receive. You're signaling that there's something wrong with you. You're resisting. And resisting means that there's something you want to be away, but you don't allow it to actually go away by letting it be there. So it's not about you not feeling your emotions at all. It's not about just being in that high vibe all the time. That doesn't define your manifestation. What defines your manifestation is who are you in connection to these emotions. Before I'm gonna go there, I want to go towards the second part that I wanted to talk about. Number one is like the suppressing, like the thinking that you need to be high vibe all the time, you need to be good, in a good mood, and everything else that shows up, there's something wrong with it. Consciousness of lack. Number two, and that's something that I experienced myself as well, something that I'm noticing as well with others, with my clients, with people in general. The over feeling of emotions. And what do I mean with over feeling? Again, the consciousness of lack. The emotion is coming up. I notice, I label it, something is wrong. I need to feel it right now. So then you might go into meditation, trying to shift it. You might go into breath work, breathing through it. You might go and dance, turn some music on, scream, let it all out. Because it's coming from a consciousness of lack. Something is wrong with you. Something is wrong about that what is. And it needs to be fixed right now. So therefore, we just go right in and feel it. So those are the two extremes. On the one hand, number one, the suppressing of like resisting it, that it's there, wanting to be high vibe all the time. And the other time, and the second one is thinking that there's something wrong, and that's why you have to do that whole process of going into it, feeling it, letting it flow through you. And I've experienced it both. And what I can tell you is, it is not getting us closer to where we actually want to be. I mean, it does. But those are too common, I don't want to call it mistake, but too common behaviors that are actually holding you back from experiencing what you want to experience right now. Experiencing who you truly are. And then the question is, why do you want to experience what you want to experience? It's the feeling behind it, right? So very often we are getting confused that which we want is the reason, because then we are feeling this way. So I want you to connect with that feeling, that state that you're in when you're experiencing it. And you might say, but I don't know how it is when I am experiencing a successful business. I don't know how it is when I'm in that loving relationship. I don't know how it is to be in that peaceful family setting. I don't know how it is living my wildest dream and beyond. I just don't know. And this is not the truth. I want you to go beyond what you think it really is about. Because what it is about, it's about you experiencing yourself in your fullness, in your wholeness. That's what it is about. So then what is wholeness for you? Maybe a mix of gratitude that you're experiencing it. Excitement of like, wow. Being in awe. Like fully relaxed and at ease. You know exactly the reason. You think it's that which you want. But the truth is, it is you experiencing yourself in a way that you want to experience yourself. So then it is when we are making the invisible visible, when we are manifesting, we got to be very clear about that emotion, about that state that we want to be in. And the more you are in that state right now, the faster, the more you are it, the faster you are actually experiencing it. Not only by imagining it, but really having it in front of you. So we need, when we're manifesting, we need that emotion, that excitement, that gratitude, that passion. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it now. Knowing it's already fulfilled. So then what often happens is we're connecting with that state. We know exactly, like it makes us feel passionate. It makes us feel being in love. It makes us feel relaxed and wide open. So we connect with it and then we forget it again. Then we just go back to business as usual, like getting connected with all these other kind of stories that activate certain kind of emotions. Then we're making that more real, what we're seeing out there, than the desire that we know it already exists. So then these emotions are kind of like leading us in one way, our thoughts and our emotions. So our thoughts are connected to our emotions. You have a thought, the emotion is being activated. You feel the emotion, more thoughts are being activated. So then emotional mastery is about you mastering yourself. Being aligned, being connected. To that elevated version of yours that is experiencing the desired reality now. So then you're getting in there, in that state of passion, of gratitude, of love, of I don't know what, excitement. And then something else is being activated out there. You're experiencing something in your outside world that really activates an emotion, a very strong emotion. What happens often is when we are going for what we desire, when we're connecting to that state, when we are connecting with how to show up, when we're connecting, when we are being it, all the other stuff is coming up that is like a mismatch to that. And that mismatch is a mismatch because it is your old version. That old version of you that is just coming up. And that's the most natural thing. The thoughts, the emotions, actions, and then even activated outside there through something, through someone, through whatever. So it's just that energetic network of information that is being brought up to release. So then what often happens is what I shared with you at the beginning. Number one, you're suppressing it. You were like, I just accept high vibes. But you're actually fooling yourself because the underlying feeling, the underlying energetic, the underlying emotion is actually that other state. The frustration, the pain, the sadness, the anger. But you think you need to be high vibe, that's why you kind of suppress it. But as it is so strong, that's actually what you're creating with. That's what you're manifesting right in front of you. And you just keep on going. You think like you're not high vibe yet. You keep on going, creating high vibe. But the high vibe is not really the truth. The truth is what you are suppressing. It's not the truth, but that's what your system think it's the truth, because it's there and it's present. So that's why it's time to just go in it, to be with it. And being with it takes on different ways. Sometimes it might be letting it just flow through you, screaming, crying, just surrendering yourself to it. And that actually is emotional mastery. You surrendering yourself to you from a state of wholeness, from an elevated state. Because then there is that inner guidance that knows exactly what to do. So then sometimes, yes, all you need, all that is required to move forward to that elevated state, to that elevated experience, is you just feeling it all, being with it all. Other times you might not have the connection to feel it. Then you might do like, but you know it's there to be released. So then you just might do like a breathwork session. Breathing, surrendering to it, to feel it. And then other times, you might just observe it. You're like, okay, done with that. While you're here, welcome. Not giving it any importance. Just observing it, being with it. And very often it just disappears very quickly. So then another way is noticing that it's just showing up again, but you're already done with it. So all you say is adios. Thank you. Bye. So this is what I mean with emotional mastery. It is you being connected to you. You already being in that desired state. You already knowing it's already done. All you're doing is you're showing up. And what's showing up with that? it is also that part of you that is still in resistance from experiencing it. But not because it's in resistance, because that's what you believed until now. And that's why it's just coming up. And I want you to go into that from the perspective of love. No judgment, just love, gratitude that it's actually showing up. Not to hold you back, to actually guide you to be moved forward, to move forward even faster. So then I want to talk again about that part of when we are on that spiritual journey, when we have a lot of tools available to us, like meditation, breath work, dancing, movement. What often happens as well is that we are getting lost in that. So we are using tools to hold on, to keep that emotion, that state alive. The emotion comes up and you're like, bum, bum, bum. Something is wrong. We gotta work with it. Alrighty, let's go right into it. Let's do a breath work. Let's feel that anger. Let's express it all. And then you're right in there again. And your body's like, that feels so good, that anger. Give me more of that. And then you're like, again, that anger shows up. And you're like, okay, now I gotta dance. I gotta dance it away. And then you just start dancing and dancing it out. So then what happens is your body is getting used to that. Your body grasps to that. Your body feels safe there. Your being feels safe there. Because finally it's being expressed. So there again, it's coming from a state of lack, that there's something wrong with you that needs to be fixed. And all I want you to understand, to remember, to embody, that you are whole, that you are perfect right now, with everything that is there, with everything. And I want you to be open up, to be open to receive right now, every moment, in that exact state that you are. Because again, it becomes another strategy, a strategy we know so well. We first need to be better. We first need to be more elevated to be able to experience it then. And that becomes our focus, instead of what we just connected with, that state that you're actually in when the desire is already fulfilled. So then all by a sudden, that focus is no longer there on us just being in that desired state when that desire is already fulfilled. Our focus is on something is wrong with us. In order to get where we want to get, we need to work on ourselves. And this is just creating more lack in your outside world. Why? Because that's your state. The state you are affirming. The state, that's what you're assuming. Something is wrong with you. So then the way I want you to work with your emotions, or play with your emotions, I love the word playing way more than working. Because play, it's like that ease, that joy, that pleasure. Whereas working is like, okay, hard work. No. I want you to have the most pleasurable and playful and joyful experience manifesting whatever it is that you want to manifest. And that's why I want to keep it effortless. I want to keep it simple, and I want to keep it playful. As well with our emotions. I've always experienced myself very emotionally. So I was often on that emotional roller coaster way before I started a different journey, like that more spiritual journey. I always like had these extremes, like extreme highs where I was just like in love with life, in love with everything. And then the next moment I had like these deep lows. Everything's just not good. So I was kind of like riding these waves, these emotional waves. And for a long time, I thought there's something wrong with me, with these emotions, with these roller coaster emotions. And for a long time, I have been struggling with my emotions, like kind of like having my stuff together, because like just overwhelmed by these emotions. So the beauty of it, what I experienced actually already back then, it makes me a very, very passionate person. It makes me a very, very excited person. So I can get very, very, very excited, and I can get very, 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 very passionate about things, about myself, about life in general. And that actually is a great gift. But then on the other hand, what I noticed when we are experiencing these high states, and right now I just feel a lot of gratitude, and this is what's happening as well. Just that gratitude of feeling ecstatic, that gratitude of being. But I can't experience them fully if I cut myself off from the other parts that are there as well. So the other parts might be anger, it might be sadness, frustration, shame, guilt, all that kind of stuff, like those dark emotions that we don't want to feel. So we push them away, but when we're pushing those emotions away, we are pushing those other states away, that state that I just shared with you, that state of pure bliss. So in order for you to open up, to experience yourself in such a blissful state, you gotta be open as well to experience those other parts. Not define yourself that there's something wrong with you. Recognizing the wholeness, like recognizing that whole spectrum of life. And that is life. To live a passionate life means to live it all. And by living it all, I don't mean to hold on to those darker emotions, to those darker states. That is not the truth. It's not the truth. It's not who you are. The truth is, you are freaking badass, I want to say. That's what's coming up. But you're just like full of love. That is who you are. Full of love and passion and pleasure. That is the truth. So that in order for you to experience that, you gotta open up for it all. So then when we open up for our desire, and this is where the passion, where the pleasure is coming in. When we open up for our desires, which a lot of us are not doing fully. Why? Because there's guilt and shame and fear connected to it. That's why we don't open up fully. That's why we're compromising our experience here in a very, very limited way. So then what happens when we're opening up to the one end, like experiencing ourselves in a wholeness, experiencing ourselves in the most abundant way in our business, with our partner, in our love life, with our friends, with our bank account, with our finances, having it all, when we're opening up for that, the law of opposites, what's happening? The other parts are showing up as well. The extreme of lack in different ways. And that's why the emotional mastery is so important in your manifestation process. Because it's about being with it from a state of wholeness, from a state of love. Not judging the shame, not judging the guilt, not judging the fear, not judging the anger, expressing it. This is when you start experiencing yourself in the wealthiest, richest, and choosiest way possible. When you give yourself the permission to experience yourself fully. And experiencing yourself fully doesn't mean only the so-called good stuff. It means everything, and knowing that everything is actually good. Everything is good, everything is juiciness, everything is that life force that wants just to flow through you. But what is required in that emotional mastery, speeding up our manifestation experience, speeding up our manifestation journey, is the way you are seeing yourself when the emotion is coming up. You gotta know you are the leader. You know when to go into it and feel it, to release it. You know when it's time to say, okay, stop. We're not going in there again. We've been there. You know when it's time to just be with it. You know when it's time to do nothing. And this is what I love to call surrendering yourself to yourself. From that state, from that desired state, knowing your desires are already fulfilled. And when your desires are already fulfilled, you probably feel whole, you probably feel excited. So then all you're doing is you are being it with whatever experience comes up. And then you are guiding yourself, you're holding yourself, you're loving yourself, whatever it is. There is just no guideline for that. The guideline are you. You are it, because you know it. You're the only one who knows what you need in that very moment. And this is owning your power. This is owning your desires. This is owning that you are a powerful manifester right now. And owning it means you're experiencing it. That's just the most logical way. So if you liked what I shared with you, if it did something with you, please let me know in the comments. I would love you to leave a like. I would love you to share it with those who could really benefit from it. And I'd love you to subscribe for us to get even more people involved into creating a life beyond their wildest dreams. And living a life beyond our wildest dreams means living a life that is true to ourselves. And there are no limitations for that. And that's what I'm here for, to guide you. Thank you for being here.